Okay, what is RAG? The full form of RAG is retrieval augmented generation. So we'll talk about this full form later. So why did RAG come into existence in the first case? So we have the LLMs, right? So the ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. So they're all trained on the previous data. Like, let's say they're only trained until 2025. And if you ask something related to your company with respect to 2026, then it doesn't know. And let's say if you try to ask something related to your private data, your company's private data, then it doesn't know. So it- so let's see how LLMs work. Like, we just give it a question or a query, we pass that to LLM, and LLM answers it. But let's say if you want to question on or query on your private data, let's say PDFs, or your private DB, or let's say your code. Let's say I'm working for a company called Walmart or Google, and Google has their private libraries written. And if you try to ask the LLM doesn't know, because since they are private. So, like, uh, it will try to, sometimes it tries to give some answer, but it might be hallucinating, or giving some dummy or fake data. Yeah. So that's how rags came into the picture, retrieval augmented generation. And let's see how rags work. Let's say you have a query or a question, and let's say you want to search documents from your company. uh, so these documents are private to your company, and those were never trained. I mean, the models were never trained on your private docs, right? So you give those docs to the LLM, and the LLM answers it. But how it answers it, uh, you know let's see that with an example. Let's say you have a private library, or a private library, like libraries for coding, those libraries I'm talking about. So if those libraries, if you try to query something related to those libraries, it doesn't know anything regarding that. So let's dive into how RAG works, and how let's see how RAG works. Yeah, a retrieval augmented generation. So you have your So retrieval is like, you find the relevant information and give it give it to the LLM, like, pass it in the prompt, add that information to prompt. Basically says that you have a prompt, your query, and you get the relevant information related to that query, and you pass that to the prompt, and you pass that to LLM, and LLM generates an answer. So that's how RAGs work. And let's see how in depth, how it works. Let's say you have a query and you pass that query. So basically, you are converting the question to embeddings. So we'll talk more about embeddings in the coming chapters. So let's say you are converting your question to numbers. Let's say 1 comma 2 comma 3, something like vectors. So these are like vector embeddings. So you convert that question to some number format, and you try to, so your private PDF or private library or something, that data is also converted to vectors, and you try to search your query vector with all the vectors, the PDF vectors, and you would try to find the similarity. And once it finds the most similar ones, you can so basically we are searching and finding the most similar ones in this step. And after that, we will retrieve relevant chunks. So basically, we found the numbers and we need to find their associated chunks, and we need to pass that chunks as well as the your query chunk. So this is plain English. Your chunks are in plain English, and but you're finding the vectors first, then you're I mean getting the associated chunks, and you are passing the query chunk with the associated, I mean the chunks that are very much similar in your vector database. So we are passing those chunks to the in the prompts, and then LLM generates or gives you an answer. So that is how LLMs, I mean RAG, came into existence, and how RAG works.